Hello, Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity, and there is nothing that is more powerful for fighting off the aging process than adding or maintaining muscle mass. Now, ultimately, it's a losing fight, but we want to slow that process down as much as possible. So, strength training is absolutely required in that scenario. I certainly have my opinions on if you're doing 30 reps and you're texting your friends and it's not enough weight. We need to be actually stressing out our muscles so that they come back and build stronger. So, diet, there's a lot of things that play a role, but are there any mystery super supplements that might help? Now, before we get into Fortetropin, make sure you like this video, share it with somebody you think needs information, and subscribe to the channel. So, that being said, that there's a product called Fortetropin. It is patented, and it's made from fertilized egg yolks. There is one particular company that sells it, and I'll kind of get into some of the costs for that at the end of the video. But there's been multiple studies on this product, if you will, and they all seem to use the same dosages. The company is obviously putting their information, their feedback into the research, which is good because then you make sure you get the right dosages and consistent dosages across studies. But this was an interesting study. It was followed for basically 3 weeks, so 21 days, 10 males to 10 females, average age 66. So this is using a very real age where muscle loss becomes an issue. In the study, I wasn't able to find that they were doing any muscle building activity. So this was, as far as the study that I was able to see, it was just done. They didn't change anything. They just looked to see if, particularly the vastus lateralis, which is one of the quad muscles on the side, and they looked to see, based on a biopsy, if 21 days of this particular supplement would increase muscle mass. And it turns out 21 days is not enough to increase muscle mass, but they did find an 18% increase in muscle synthesis proteins, which is a really good sign. Certainly we'd love to see this carried forward, and especially in people exercising versus not exercising. But here's the little caveat with that, in that all of the studies use a dosage of 19.8 grams per day. The company with the patent that sells it pushes their products at a 6.6 grams per packet once per day. These studies are all done on 3 packets per day. And given that so a typical canister that they say is a month's supply is more like a 10-day supply, and it runs about $50 a canister, so you're looking at like $150 a month, out of the range of some people. And until we necessarily see more solid data where this actually increases muscle mass, not just the proteins associated with proteins associated with muscle synthesis, not quite sure that's money well spent as opposed to buying good quality proteins and a gym membership. So, just wanted to throw this one out there. By the way, this study was from 2021, so it's not exactly new. There's been a more recent one looking at immobilization. So they took some younger kids and immobilized the leg to see if it made a difference. Not a terribly big difference in 2 weeks of immobilization. But as always, I will post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody you think needs information, and subscribe to the channel.